Oh, hello, my friend. Welcome to another episode of the Don't Be Serious podcast. We are the hosts. My name's Amber, then there's Yash, and then there's Romit. So, today we are talking about something a little bit more nostalgic, as they used to say it. Romit, would you like to introduce the topic today?
Today, our topic is three games we used to like when we were in our childhood.
So, there are a few rules here. The first rule is that we cannot talk about any multiplayer games, like, for example, Counter Strike 1.6, Unreal Tournament. These games are kind of, and Quake 3, of course, these games are kind
Yeah.
of out of question. Then there's, of course, the rule that these are games that we have played up till 12th class 12th, they because that's what, because school days is what we consider as sort of our childhood. So anyway, any game that we've played between kg and 12th, they count. So for example, for me, something like the Metro franchise doesn't count. So Metro 2033, Metro Last Light, Metro Exodus, they don't count because I was in college when I played them. GTA 5 doesn't count because I was in college by the time GTA 5 got released and I got my hands on it. Oh god, that was a complete nightmare. I'm actually a PC gamer. I have never had a PlayStation or an Xbox, well, apart from a PSP, which I actually bought in 11th grade. It was like my first
PSP in 11th grade.
Yes, it was my first PSP in 11th grade.
I
Very
think you were late to the bandwagon because PSP is much older.
Yes, I know.
Uh,
I know. I am very late to the bandwagon. But that aside, I think we can start today's discussion. So I think
yes.
I should start today's discussion because
Uh,
the game I have in mind is actually a game that I'm not a very big fan of, to be honest with you. In its
Okay.
franchise, there are like amazing titles. Like there was this one particular title in the year 2009, and it has been my favorite Need for Speed thus far. Yes, I'm talking about Need for Speed. So the title I have chosen is Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005.
Oh, yes. Let's do this.
I think this is a game everybody can relate to, don't you think? Because I'll be honest with you, part of the reason why I chose it is because all three of us have played it. And then I recently replayed the game and I can appreciate the whole grungy, the whole, crime story a little bit better than what I could as a kid. But one of my favorite Need for Speeds is actually this game called Need for Speed Shift.
I have heard about it, but I didn't play that particular title.
Oh, you should play that. That game is absolutely terrifying. It's like a horror
Uh,
experience without any
Right.
ghosts and psychological horror. Like the game is supposed to terrify you. And the developers of Need for Speed Shift, Slightly Mad Studios, they ended up making two more games called Project Cars and Project Cars 2.
my favorite Need for Speed title was always the is Underground 2. I love that franchise, that
Yeah.
particular title because that particular game, Need for Speed Underground 2, had a lot more to offer during its time. Its
Yes.
customization offers and night map, something like that, was
Yeah.
very cool at that time. And but what we were talking about is Most Wanted, which is one of the classics. And the best thing part about the Most Wanted franchise was that police chase, that police
Oh,
cars
yes. Oh,
in that
yes.
game.
I think I'll talk about the police chase a little bit because I have some really fond memories of the police chases that used to go on. I remember that the game has a highway circle, so it has a highway system which like circles the entire map. And I used to always drive around that whenever I was doing any police chases. That was because when you are in the city, in the town, then it's a lot harder to avoid these police cars. But on highway, you can actually gain huge amounts of speed and
Uh,
literally smash your way through roadblocks. It was
that was too much fun.
yeah, it was the
Too much.
most amount of fun I've had. Although what I was thoroughly disappointed with was the fact that the customization system was really bad. It was a lot more dumbed down as compared to NFS Underground 2, which is what I had played just before I jumped into Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Even the latest Most Wanted wasn't so interesting like that old Underground 2. It was the best,
Yeah,
I would say,
yeah,
for
I
me
loved
personally.
it so much. Yeah,
All time best. That was all time best, yeah. Seriously.
yeah. So, anyways, moving away from Need for Speed, because my choice was Need for Speed. And Romit, what was your choice?
I would choose the game which was particularly not everyone's favorite, but I loved it because it had something you needed brains for that game, which was Age of Empires. It is just like a chess. It was so addictive. I could play for 8 hours straight without taking any break. The best part of that game was planning strategically your location, your cities,
Yeah.
and how to attack your enemy. It was so fun and so I wouldn't say it was so cool, but it was very addictive and very very interesting. It was actually something you can learn. That is a particular game in which you can also gain knowledge and learn that old civilization, how it was built, how you can try to plan your civilization, which was something learning experience. At the same time, it was
Yeah.
much more fun.
So I think like even during all that childhood time, to have such a game which gives you this proper environment to create your empire was really thrilling, right? Because the whole idea of complete, like it has complete idealization of how an empire should work, and then ultimately there's going to be fight. Obviously that was a great perspective. Like even at the time of childhood we were into that kind of thing. To be pushed towards that kind of thing is something great.
I personally didn't play Age of Empires as much. I was actually more of a Warcraft 3 guy. I had bought a CD which had like 6 games in one, and one of them was the demo for Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos. I played it for hours on end, and I mean hours. I played it for like much of my fourth and fifth grade. I loved it so much. Compared to Age of Empires, the graphics were amazing. The whole supernatural aspect of the game was amazing. And then when I was in 11th grade, I actually, got the full game and I played like most of it because I was unable to complete the last Night Elf campaign for some reason, which is really unfortunate. My God, I loved the game. It was amazing. I felt that it was, a superior title to Age of Empires, but to each one to their own, as they say.
Even games like Clash of Clans, which I used to play in class 10, I guess, did bring me some memories of Age of Empires back. Age of Empires was way back when I was in, I think, class 5, which was around 10 years ago. But even Clash of Clans and some games like many Battleship, I think a game named Battleship, something like that, is also has that format, Age of Empires format, which was also very interesting. So this time kind of format, the game where you need to plan strategically your attack, your location, your civilization building. I used to love those kind of games.
So, Yash, what is your game of choice?
So, guys, my childhood vegan literally was Road Rash. I mean, Road Rash was like everything, literally for almost 3 to 4 years. And Road Rash released in around 1995. I'm talking about the PC game. So I was clearly not even born. So I was born in 1997. So I probably was playing the game around 2000 or something. And the only reason was that I used to go to my uncle's house. First time I went there and, everybody was just doing their normal things. And suddenly I heard my cousin brother playing Road Rash. Okay. I'm just hearing some really amazing motor kind of feeling to it. And there's a very peppy background playing behind it. If you remember in Road Rash, right? There's a very peppy background, and then there's a whole racing thing going on. You can hear the bike's voice and everything. And I was so into it. I was completely into it. And I just asked my brother, I want to do this. And after that, it was like every time I would go to my uncle's house, I would not meet him really personally and really get to talk to him. I was just like Road Rash. At times he would come at times he would come up to me and he was like, well, you came actually to meet me as well, right? Or was it Road Rash? And at times I would genuinely say, no, it was just Road Rash. Because I mean, the whole idea of, the playing games, even when you would get busted, okay, or you were declared winner or loser. I remember that was a big thing for me. I remember when I literally won my first game, I went to my father, literally shouting that I won. Okay, and my father was like confused that what did he have win in really. So he was like literally asking my mother that, honey, what the hell did he win in? Honey, what is Road Rash? And I was like, so you should not get into this, because this is my zone. This is what I love to do. And man, even fighting, of course, the whole part of it.
Yeah.
And of course, late in Road Rash, the whole idea of even busted and, winner, loser, the whole section became like a video. But I like that imagery version, man. Like that when you would get busted and then the police person you would be just holding, you would literally feel fear. When you would be racing and suddenly you would hear that police siren, you would be like, man, I'm going to die or something. That was how indulged I was into Road Rash.
But the best feeling was kicking the police out, I guess. That was the best part.
Even kicking the police out and also killing the people who would be walking on streets. There was no reason to do that. But it was so fun just to kick out of them. Road Rash was literally like my jam for a really long time. And it's become really emotional and special because I think you guys know that I lost my uncle probably, a year back.
So when I was a kid, one of the first games I got was Microsoft Motocross Madness. Oh man.
I love that game also.
I used to play it every single day for 4 or 5 hours. Every day it was so much fun. And I used to make the track editor. Like there's something called as this turn blocker in that game. And I used to replace the track course with turn blockers. So we used to drive over turn blockers. It was so much massive amounts of fun. That track, Microsoft Motocross Madness was like, it was my childhood. Amongst other games, like for example, GTA Vice City.
GTA is one of the classics which everyone has played, I guess.
I think Vice City is something that is part of everybody's childhood, except for that one mission where, there was a helicopter that you had to use to plant bombs somewhere like that. And that used to be apparently pretty annoying for a lot of people.
I even used to love Angry Birds. That is why I'm wearing Angry Birds shirt. I wouldn't say it was too much. It is much older, but still, it is the best mobile game I think yet ever made. It is so much fun. Yeah. It was the first, I think, the most hit Android game after the revolution of smartphone. I think it was.
Yeah. So I guess that wraps up today's episode of Don't Be Serious. There's really here, like always, no conclusion that we can draw here. Yeah. It's just pure nostalgia, shall we say.
Yeah, pure nostalgia.
Yeah.
So, guys, what do you think about the games you have played, your childhood games? Do share with us and do comment below or anywhere or email us. Try to say all the games which we missed in this podcast.
And keep commenting. This is your stage, as I've said before. Okay, so keep sharing these topics, and man, the kind of love that we are getting for what we're doing, that really means a lot to all three of us. So thank you so much for that, and keep watching. Keep listening to these podcasts, or in whatever way you are consuming it, because I hope someday we could make it in a way that the people who really need these podcasts, who really need, like through this, they really are able to make their life much better. I think that would really mean a lot to all three of us. Yeah. So next week, okay, we are going to come again with something great. And Amber, I think we should do more topics like this. What do you say?
Yeah, I think I already have the next topic in mind. So before we do that, bye.